Hey, E-Town, it's Miss Francelno here. I am with our next presenter in our business and finance career pathway. I'm really excited and honored to have Baird and Warner here to talk to us about the career of real estate. So take it away, Karla.
Hi there, everybody. Thanks so much for joining. My name is Karla Tennies Koziura, and I'd love to talk to you today about a career in real estate. I am part of Baird and Warner, which is a real estate company here in Evanston, but I also own a property development company with my husband called Koziura Homes. So let's get right into it. I wanted to tell you a little bit about myself. First and foremost, I have lived in Evanston since 1997. I am the mother of two children, one of which is currently a student at ETHS. So this is great. I feel fantastic contributing to the community and talking to students like my own son who might be interested in real estate. I wanted to go through a couple of things that I feel are relevant experiences that kind of add to my career, because I think that all of us, all of you, we all have interests and hobbies, and we're involved in the community. We are involved in organizations that for real estate is very, very important, because real estate is about relationships and relationship building. So again, you can see here, there's a photo. I'm a real estate broker. I help people buy and sell homes. But also my husband and I, we are local business owners. We own a small business called Frio Gelato. It's based out of Evanston, and one of our locations is in Evanston, along with some others that we have in the city. I also am very involved in the community. I am on the board of the Puerta Abierta Spanish Immersion Preschool, where my children went when they were that age. I also am on the board of the Maine Dempster Mile, which is the small business association that comprises Maine and Dempster and Chicago Avenue. In addition, I dance flamenco, and I, again, we're part of Koziura Homes, which is a company that my husband and I have that's property development. Again, the reason I mention all these things is because all these different activities and all the involvement that I have in my community helps me in my business in real estate. And so I think one of the things that, if you're considering this career, it's very important to be involved and use your interests and hobbies as a way to kind of tap into your sphere of influence. In addition, I also have an MBA from Thunderbird in Arizona. I have a degree from UC Santa Barbara. I also speak Spanish and Portuguese. And these are all things that, again, add to my basket of skills that I can offer clients. Let's say if they're Spanish speaking, or let's say I go to a networking event for one of my universities. These are all ways to tap into my sphere of influence. All right, so let's talk about different examples of careers in real estate. You might know real estate simply as being a real estate broker, again, representing buyers and sellers who want to buy homes. But really, there are other careers within real estate that you could also belong to. First of all, if you're interested in real estate, you would want to decide, are you interested in the commercial side, which is basically doing real estate for businesses, leasing properties for businesses and services? Or do you want to be on the residential side, on the side where you're helping families and people buy homes or condominiums? So that's one of the first things that you want to decide, or you can also belong to both. Then number two is to be a real estate broker, which I have a license for that. I also have a license as a managing broker. Managing broker is if you don't want to be out there selling yourself, but you want to get a license, which is a different license, to manage an office and be on the administrative side of real estate. Number four, you could also be a real estate investor. So maybe you have a full-time job doing something else, but on the side, you might be investing in real estate to provide what's called passive income. That is income that comes to you because you've invested in real estate. So there's different financing for that. You might want to hire a property manager, and investing in real estate is kind of like perhaps having long-term rental properties, or you might invest in somebody else's project of property development. Then another title would be property manager. Maybe you just want to manage the property for a real estate investor, okay? Or maybe you just want to develop properties, which would mean that you're rehabbing, remodeling, building And so you're not necessarily the one out there selling, but you are developing different homes that people could move into. You can also be a leasing agent, which is only focused on rentals, right? So you're not focusing on buying and selling real estate for your clients, but just rentals. And that here in Evanston is a big business because we do have a lot of people coming to Northwestern University that have short-term rental needs while they're 1 year in college, or maybe all 4 years in college or graduate school, etc. Another example could be a real estate wholesaler. So there are properties that are discounted properties. Maybe they are bank-owned properties, foreclosed properties, which means that people have lost their homes and the bank takes control of these homes, and you might focus only on those types of homes. So this is kind of just an example of many different ways you can get involved in the real estate industry. I am mostly going to focus on being a real estate broker because I think that's what we're most familiar with, but certainly I can answer any questions you might have about the other types of careers. So I did want to talk to you about my personal real estate philosophy. Again, I've talked about tapping into your sphere of influence to create relationships. I like to create relationships for the long term because maybe somebody buys today with me and then 8 years from now, they want to move and they want to hire me again to sell their house. So it's very important to maintain contact, to maintain these relationships. And if you are active in the community and active with different organizations and such and hobbies with these people that you see over and over again, you are building trust. And that's very important in this industry. My personal philosophy is I don't want to just be transaction based. It's not just going from deal to deal. It's building these relationships that over time can give you long-term fruits of your labor. I mean, long-term potential opportunities. I also talk about the 7 Ds. Now, most of the time, if you think of why people are buying and selling real estate, buying and selling homes, is because they're having major life changes. And so I see myself as a steward, helping people transition through these life phases that we call the 7 Ds. And I'll name a few, like D for divorce, death, diamonds, right? Like if somebody's getting married, or diapers, they're having children. And, you know, there's 7 Ds, but these are major life changes that would make people want to buy or sell a new home. And so I really, you know, through these relationships, through the trust, it really is a very fruitful job for me. It feeds my soul because sometimes these times are very trying for people and very stressful. And you know, buying and selling real estate is a major financial decision that I feel very good about representing my clients well. And I love my job. I love making a difference in somebody's life. So for me personally, I'm in it because it really fulfills my soul. Now, there are benefits and challenges to working in the real estate industry as a broker. So first of all, one of the benefits is a very flexible schedule. You can set your schedule. You can decide to work part-time. You can work only weekends or only certain days. So this is good if you're studying, let's say, and you want to have kind of a side job selling real estate. You can certainly do that. However, because it's so flexible, the challenge is that you need to be very focused and very structured with your time, because it's very easy to wake up late, to not be focused. And pretty soon you realize, oh my goodness, I'm not doing any business, because you need to focus. There's nobody telling you what to do. You have to be focused and structured enough to manage your own time. The other benefit, you're a subcontractor, which means you are not an employee. You don't have a boss telling you have to show up at a certain time. You have to do X, Y, and Z. You are your own boss. That's very, very exciting. You are your own brand. You are self-employed. But because of this, that means the challenge of that is that you don't have a fixed paycheck. You don't have, you don't know exactly how much you're going to make every month. Now, over time, once you have a built-in business, you will have a lot of business coming towards you, but initially that's difficult. You might have to have a little bit of a nest egg or some savings built up before getting into the industry, because maybe in the first couple of months, you're not making any money. This is, again, a long-term type of job where you have to stick with it to reap the benefits. Because you're not an employee, you will need to pay out of pocket for other benefits that you might get in a normal job, 9-to-5 job. You'll have to pay for health insurance. You'll have to save for your tax payments. You yourself have to pay for your own marketing and sales dollars and pay for your accountant, etc. Another benefit of real estate is it has very high income potential. They do say that the starting average salary is about $57,000. You are commission based, again, meaning you do not get a fixed paycheck that you're going to know about every single month. It can fluctuate. One month you make zero, the next month you make tons of money. It's all up to you. The high income potential is great because the sky is the limit. But the challenge to that is you have to be willing to work very hard, a lot of times on off hours, right? You are working with clients who might have 9-to-5 jobs, who can only see properties in the evening or on the weekends. So you need to be able to be willing to be flexible and be available when your clients are available. The benefit again is, another benefit is tapping into that sphere of influence. So a lot of times I feel like I'm not working. I feel like I'm hanging out with friends because a lot of my clients come from my sphere of influence. My friends who I dance flamenco with, right, might call me to buy or help them buy or sell their home. So I feel like I'm just going along, doing my life, doing my hobbies, and working with a lot of friends, which is great. But the challenge of that is that first you have to build their trust, right? You have to offer something of value. You can't just expect that because we're friends, someone's going to want to work with you. You have to build that trust first. So you might be wondering, well, is the career in real estate actually for me? We actually have an online assessment that you could take at Baird & Warner. Here's the link if you want to click on that, and kind of there's a questionnaire to see if you actually even might consider real estate or if it's for you. The basic requirements are that you have to be a U.S. citizen or legal status, work status in the country. You have to be 18 years old and then have a high school diploma or the equivalent. Once those basic requirements are out of the way, you need to follow 4 steps to get your license. You do need a license for real estate. And so basically the first is you have to take 75 hours of classes that you could take either part-time, or sometimes people take off a whole week of a couple of weeks of work, and they just focus on getting their courses out of the way. Baird & Warner, where I work, offers those courses, but there's many other ways that you could do it. You could do it online. There are many programs where you could take the courses online, self-study, self-paced, or you could do it, with a group of people online. Also, here locally, Oakton Community College offers a great program for licensing classes. I'm sure other community colleges do as well, but if you're here locally in Evanston, Oakton might be a good bet as well. The second step, once you've taken those 75 hours, is that you have to take the state real estate license exam. Now there is a fee of $55 every time you try. Don't get discouraged if you happen to not pass on the first time. It is a difficult exam. They purposely try to trick you. So it really is just a matter of studying and really knowing your material. And to be honest with you, I didn't pass on my first time because I was like, I know this, I've got this, but really it's all in the details, and I had to go back and study, and I passed the second time. And there's a 75% passing rate. It's a 3.5-hour exam, and I'm sure that you can handle it. The next step then is, once you've passed the exam, is you have to apply for your license with the IDFPR. That is the Illinois Department of Financial and Professional Regulation. That fee is $125. And that is very easy. You apply online. Once that application is in, they review it, and you should get your license within 10 business days. So now you're off and running. So you've now completed all the 4 steps to get your license, and now you're licensed. Now what do you do? Well, first of all, you have to pick a brokerage, right? In order to practice real estate in the state of Illinois, and probably in most states, you need to work with a real estate company, which is called a brokerage. I work with Baird & Warner, and let me tell you that I used to have my own brokerage for about 20 years, and just 3 years ago decided that I wanted to join a brokerage to get a little bit more resources for technology and for support. And I interviewed about 3 or 4 brokerages and came up with Baird and Warner because the company aligned with my values. I think it's very, very important for you to interview at many different places. Make sure you like the people that you're working with. Make sure that you like how the values align with your own, and that you have a managing broker who's going to be really helping you throughout the process. So company culture is very important when looking for a brokerage. Also training. Now, you've gone through all the pre-licensing courses for real estate, but really they are teaching you about the theories of real estate. But you need to have a little bit of training on the practice, like how do I write a contract? How do I make a sales presentation? How do I show a house? What do I say? And you need to be working with a brokerage that's going to train you to do all of this properly to set you up for success. The second step is you need to start marketing yourself. Again, you are your own boss, which means that you're your own brand. You have to start getting on social media, getting very active, telling the world that you're now in the real estate market, real estate profession. And maybe that means you need to spend a little bit of money on advertising, create some newsletters, offer some gifts to people, and just start meeting with people and getting the word out. Now, after that, I might suggest too that when you choose a brokerage, you might find a team that you can work with so that you are working with maybe more experienced real estate professionals on a team and helping them. And in the meantime, you are learning the ropes so that, again, you are set up for success and you are learning from the professionals who have a little bit more experience. And that might be a good way to start. Another thing I wanted to mention is that you do have continuing education with the real estate profession. So once you have your license, that's great, but you do need to every 2 years reactivate your license, make sure that you are up on the latest code of ethics, the latest rules and regulations about anti-discrimination, fair housing laws, and the profession requires that you take continuing education of 45 hours every 2 years to make sure that you are acting as a true professional and representing yourself, representing the real estate profession in a proper manner. So I hope this presentation was useful for you. Real estate is a fantastic way to add value, to impact people's lives, to make some money, of course, in the meantime. But I personally really enjoy it. I feel like I'm not even working sometimes. And it's provided a great, flexible way to have a profession. Again, my name is Karla Tennies Koziura. I'm with Baird and Warner, and I'd be happy to answer any questions that you might have. And I'd be thrilled if you actually called me because I would love to get more people into this wonderful profession. Thank you so much.
Thanks so much, Karla. This was such a wonderful presentation. It's full of information for students to understand how to enter this amazing pathway of real estate. And we're so grateful that you're here with us this afternoon.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye.